Summer routines live or die by how easy they are, and honestly, if something takes too much effort, I'm out. That's why Groons is my go-to. It's my one daily pack of gummies covering my greens, vitamins, and minerals. Plus, it has 6 grams of prebiotic fiber, which is more than 2 cups of broccoli. No mixing powders, no giant pills, no hassle. I just rip open the pack and I'm done. They taste good and they make it easy to stay on top of my health, even when life gets busy. Save up to 52% with the code PODCAST at Groons.co. That's code PODCAST at GRUNS.co.
From the kids to Aunt Sue. Keep your whole family connected on all their devices with crowd-pleasing gig-speed internet from Xfinity. Now that's simple, easy, awesome. Go online, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit today. Restrictions apply. Actual speed vary and not guaranteed.
Welcome back to TalkNorth.com. Thank you for listening. If you can, please download before you listen. It helps our business. I'd also like to thank our producer, Brandon Morton, and let you know if you'd like to sponsor this program or any of the programs on the network. You can reach me at jsouhan47@gmail.com. I'm in a Marriott hotel room. Michael Russo is in a Marriott hotel room. I'm in Anaheim covering the West Regional for the Star Tribune. Michael is in Vegas covering hockey for the Athletic. I don't know what's going to happen the rest of the Wild season. I don't know what's going to happen in the NCAA tournament. I only know one thing for sure in this life. Michael has a bigger hotel room than I do.
No doubt. I can promise you that.
Yeah. How are the maids?
No, I'm at that, well, actually, I won't tell where I am. Just wouldn't want all of a sudden to knock on the door and Russo-Souhan is standing there.
He's always on you. I mean, it is amazing. You or I tweet something out, and he responds every time.
It's and apparently Twitter threatened his account this week.
Really?
Did you hear about this?
No,
yeah.
I had no idea. Oh, hold on. Let me introduce the show. Then we got to talk about Russo-Souhan getting arrested. This is like the best topic ever. It's better than talking about the Wild right now. This is the Russo-Souhan Show, part of the TalkNorth.com podcast network. Thanks to our sponsors, Twill and the Edina Galleria, FixologyRepair.com, Tony Holdman, your State Farm agent, Champlin, and Bite Squad, BiteSquad.com. Download the Bite Squad app. Use the promo code TalkNorth to get your first delivery free, all caps. Thanks to our producer, Brandon Morton. If you'd like to advertise with us, reach us at TalkNorthPodcast@gmail.com. Follow us at TalkNorthPod on Twitter. Please download before you listen. All right. Russo-Souhan almost got arrested. How did I miss this?
Yeah, I guess Twitter came down on, I don't know if they came down on parody accounts or he just happened to be in the crosshairs of something, but they basically accused him of impersonating me, which I think is hilarious. And they made him change his name and make it clearer that he was a parody account or something.
You're kidding me.
I don't know. Yeah, it was crazy.
I knew you had. I knew you had friends in places.
I'm in Vegas the other night, and I'm
beds on top of Russo-Souhan stuff.
Yeah, but it's weird. I mean, the other night it was I was basically going to sleep, and I look at my Twitter account. I had a direct message from him with the screen capture of what they did, and it's just what? It just seemed a little bizarre. So.
Well, I knew that Jim Comey had a lot of time on his hands these days. I didn't know he was friends with you, or that he would just go after Russo-Souhan as a hobby.
Yeah. Twitter has gotten, actually, I mean, I think it's good that they're actually, it seems like to me they're cracking down on it. There was another Russo account this week that was just an absolute, schmuck, just an absolute jackass. And they suspended his account for impersonating me, because, he essentially stole my picture too, so.
Wow.
So maybe, maybe the coincidence, maybe what happened is that Twitter actually started looking at these Russo parody accounts, and after getting rid of the other schmuck, they unfortunately went after somebody that means no harm.
Well, to take this subject seriously, from everything I've been reading and seeing, basically all these social media companies got away with just letting everything be the wild, wild west, letting, white supremacists and stalkers and everybody else just kind of get away with whatever they wanted under the argument that, hey, we're just a no social network. We don't have any control. And now they're facing government scrutiny because they're bigger in a lot of ways than ABC News or CBS News now. So they should be regulated. They shouldn't be allowed to get away with this. It's hilarious that it ends up affecting Russo Slacks.
Yeah, I know. I think it would have crushed him if he couldn't come back. I think it would have been hilarious, actually.
We need to test that theory.
I got he had a photo capture of me the other day. Remember I was talking about my thumb massage on the last podcast and how I hurt myself.
How could I forget your thumb massage?
And he did a photo capture of quote, thumb massage, and had a picture of me and Robert Kraft coming out of nowhere in South Florida. So yesterday I get a text message from John Torchetti, and Torch says to me, let me find it, which just bothers me that Torch is somehow now following Russo Slacks. He goes, I didn't know you hung out with Kraft on your days off.
Oh, my God. You have NHL head coaches tweeting you about Russo Slacks photoshops of you coming out of a massage parlor. Oh, man. Yeah. The good thing is, Michael, we know you were just there for the massage.
Yes, exactly. So, what's going on with you? Or you got to be upset that you're not in...
change the subject as quickly as possible. My paper is blowing out our Final Four coverage with the Final Four coming to Minneapolis, so... I covered the Gophers in Des Moines last weekend. I'm at the Anaheim Regional to cover the games over the weekend. Then we're going to come back and blow things out for the actual Final Four at home. It'll be my third Final Four I've covered in Minnesota, and it is a great event. I hate the NCAA. I hate a lot of things about it, but the event itself is fantastic.
I'm amazed though. Like opening day, you're missing. That's got to be a little bittersweet.
First time in a long time. I have a dirty little secret about opening day, though. Most baseball people and most baseball writers just celebrate opening day like, this incredible national holiday. And it is to a certain extent. But it's also, if you're a baseball writer, it's the day that everybody who doesn't know anything about baseball pretends to know something about baseball. So it's kind of annoying because you got the TV people who are going to be at 2 games all year coming in and Twins will lose on opening day. Oh, how are you going to bounce back from this? Well, you're going to bounce back by playing 161 more games. That's how you bounce back from an opening day loss. They come in and so many media people, so many casual fans treat it like the Super Bowl. It's not. It's like pregame stretching for most sports. You're just getting going. So my favorite day of the baseball season is Game 2.
Yeah. That would make
I'm just
sense.
that big a jerk.
Yeah, there is just something cool about opening day, though. I mean,
there's
kind of the romance if you're a big time baseball fan. Man, I mean, it is awesome.
Yeah, I like the pageantry. I like the feel. It's a weird game to write about, though. Again, because it's just another game, and yet everybody wants to be more important than it actually is. So you're begging something really interesting happens. So you have to actually treat the game like it's a bigger deal than it actually is. But that's the writer's perspective. I think for a fan, it's a great day.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, I don't know. I'm as you mentioned, I'm in Vegas. I've worked all morning on a story that actually just posted on Expansion. And first thing I want to do now when we get off this podcast is actually go watch the game. So I'm looking forward to seeing this new look Twins team.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to be watching it on Hulu as I'm waiting for the game over at the Honda Center. All right, let's get to some hockey. First, let's thank Twill and the Edina Galleria. Scott Dayton has been supporting this show and the network for a long time. He also travels the world looking for cool new brands, for oddities, for stuff that you might not see. And that's the thing. It's not just your average clothing store. They have cool new stuff all the time. And this is a great time of the year to shop there because you have, you still have some warm weather clothes in there, but they're transitioning to golf season and summer. And that's when I probably wear most of my Twill stuff.
Jim usually doesn't like to shop for clothes. I don't like it when he shops for clothes either, because he used to buy stuff I'd want to throw out. That's why I'm so glad he's found Twill in the Edina Galleria. He likes shopping there because of the comfortable environment and the friendly staff. He finds clothes that actually fit him properly and are high-quality brands that will look great for years, whether he's golfing or working. Our favorites so far are Peter Millar, Johnny O, and Barber. We spend our money at Twill because we love the clothes And we love the no-pressure shopping. Drop by Twill in the Edina Galleria for the best shopping experience and best clothes you'll find in the Twin Cities.
All right, so what are you writing about in terms of expansion?
What I did, and I think we've talked about it a little bit here, is just, the irony of all the work that Chuck Fletcher did to manipulate the draft to make sure that they could save as many players as they wanted. And here last night, I'm watching Alex Tuck dominate for the Vegas Golden Knights, and then I look at the Wild roster, and Granlund, Niederreiter, and Coyle, one of the gigantic reasons why Alex Tuck even plays for Vegas, are no longer here. And so that was kind of what I went back as like, hey, 2020 hindsight. It's easy to say now they screwed up, but what were their other options? And I kind of looked at what their other options were. Their other options, was protect 7 and 3, but essentially let them take the pick. Just to accept that you're going to lose a top player, but that top player is going to be Matt Dumba or Jonas Brodin, and most likely Matt Dumba. He would have been the one that was exposed, and then Wild fans wouldn't be happy about that if they were watching him dominate in Vegas. The other one would be to protect 8 skaters, but the problem with that would have allowed you to protect your 4 defensemen, Suter, Spurgeon, Brodin, and Dumba, but the problem is you had to protect Pominville, Koivu, and Parisi, so that allows you to only protect probably Granlund. And now what that means is that you're giving Vegas the opportunity to take Zucker, Stahl, Coyle, Niederreiter, or Haula. And I looked at basically those things and how, well, again, in hindsight, it's easy to say, well, just have them take that guy. What the point is that there were no easy answers back then. And frankly, what's a shame about it is that nobody could have expected that the Wild, a year after the Vegas Golden Knights started, would be without 3 of those core forwards.
Yeah, absolutely. I got in. That's a long travel day yesterday. I don't know how you do it, Michael. I had a direct flight from Minneapolis. It got delayed, pushed me back into rush hour. It ends up being like a 10-hour travel day just to get from one city to the other. I don't know how you deal with the logistics on a constant daily basis the way you do. But I did get in just in time to watch the Colorado and Vegas game, and Colorado looks pretty good.
Yeah, they are, and they're getting great goaltending. They've done what the Wild didn't. They've won when they couldn't, when they needed to win. Right now they're points in 6 straight games, and they're going to make the playoffs. The Wild are not. It's pretty much official now. The Wild are absolutely done, and now it's just a matter of kind of looking ahead here and what's going to happen with this offseason.
And I give you credit. You've been saying for a while that you didn't think the Wild would make it, even at times when the numbers didn't look that bad. I think you had a good feel for the pulse of the team and that they just weren't going to have enough. Now that we are, you opened the door. Now that we're at this juncture, do you have any better feel for what happens in the offseason, or does it all have to play out?
It's got to play out. I mean, look, there's no doubt that Paul Fenton is going to I think, try to bring in his own coach, and then it's up to whether or not Craig Leopold accepts that. I mean, Craig's got to, let's put it this way, it'd be cheaper to fire Paul Fenton than it would be to fire Bruce Boudreau at this point. So my point of not saying is, again, my point there is that it's a hefty salary to not only pay off Bruce Boudreau to leave, but then hire a new coach. And is Craig Leopold going to be willing to do that when I think we can all look at this team and say this is not Bruce Boudreau's fault? This team is, injury laden. They've gotten demolished by injuries at the worst possible time. With Koivu, Dumba, obviously, Parisi missing 2 gigantic games in a row, and obviously Eriksson Ek out for a lot of this month. And then the fact that you traded Niederreiter, Coyle, and Granlund for players that have made very little impact other than Donato. You look at the Wild's lineup, and it's just not good enough. So are you going to really have the coach take the brunt of that? That's the big question that Craig Leopold's going to have to be willing to accept.
Good day. By the way, we're talking to a couple places about live shows. As soon as I get off the road, we'll try to finalize some things. We have some options. We do appreciate everybody being patient with us. We love doing live shows. We get to see everybody, and hopefully we'll be back live here soon. And if you got a place that you want to pitch to us, let us know. Let's do some Twitter questions, because this is a good time of the year to do that. I do want to thank Fixology Repair, fixologyrepair.com, downtown in the Skyway, and 3rd floor of the Mall of America by Nordstrom's. pretty much everything you would want to buy or fix in terms of gadgets, watches, etc.
There are some things in life that you just can't live without. Now, whether it's a special piece of jewelry, a watch, or even your smartphone, you want it in working condition. At Fixology Repair, we are committed to restoring your pieces so that everything works or fits the way it ought to. Watch servicing, chain repair, and broken screen replacements are just a few of the services that we offer at our 2 locations, Mall of America and the Skyway in downtown Minneapolis. Please visit us at fixologyrepair.com or at fixologymn on Twitter to learn more. Mention this ad and get a 10% discount on our services.
So we have Matt Bishop. What has been the difference for the Lightning this year? Do you think this is the year they finally get over the hump and win the Cup?
I do think so. But I would not. I'd be a little scared of Boston. I really would. But what's the difference? I mean, that's just a deep, talented team. And you look around the NHL right now, and there have been a lot of very average teams throughout the league. But you look at that team, and they are fast. They're balanced. They got grit. They got speed. They got high skill. They got incredible goaltending. Their blue line is completely balanced. When you look at that, they got skaters. They got grit with guys like Girardi and obviously Hedman's all-world. I mean, that team is just and they've been healthy. So I do think this is the year. I'm in Vegas right now, and the odds of them winning the Cup is drastically higher than anybody else.
Are you going to put it down any bets?
No, I mean, the one that's intriguing is Boston. A Boston 11-1 is pretty intriguing. That to me is the second best team in the NHL right now.
What are you going to do in Vegas this week, by the way? I mean,
I've been here. I've the last couple of days I've worked. I wrote a story on Bob Mason and obviously his tragic circumstance with losing his wife last week. Today I wrote the expansion story. We're announcing the Masterton nominee for the Wild tomorrow. So I've been working. I've had a couple little craps runs, didn't go well. One good dinner, but I've been working. I mean, I've met with a couple people with the Golden Knights for some stories that I'm working on. I'm working ahead on a couple other things. So this really has been mostly a business trip. I do have a bunch of friends out here as well. So, today I'll go watch the Twins game. I'll write the story on the Masterton pick, and which I think I can say now because this isn't coming. This is not coming out till tomorrow, right?
Probably not unless you wanted it to.
Okay, I'll wait. I won't say it. And then
no, we can hold this. We can hold this for fun.
No, it's all right. No, it's okay. It's been my last 2 trips to Vegas. I told you guys about the hospital visit on my last one.
We remember.
And this one's pretty tame. So
where'd you eat, by the way? Where was your good dinner?
I went to the Strip House last night at Planet Hollywood. Awesome steakhouse. Went with LaPanta and his son and his son's friends, and then 2 of my buddies, and then my casino host was there as well, Dave Wingham, who is just awesome. And I don't know what I'll be doing tonight. Tonight will be tame. There are a couple of people from the Wild I want to get together with tonight, and again, I got to wake up early and write, so it'll be a tame day.
Let's buzz through some more Twitter questions. We have good ones. Russo has said these guys are getting tired of each other. Assuming Fenton knows this as well, what kind of moves could he make to freshen up the room with the locker room?
Well, I mean, he's done it.
And that's the thing. He's already
how
traded.
Many more guys can you get rid of?
Four guys,
he's done it. I mean, this lineup is absolutely a shell of what it used to be. And that's why, to me, it's like, I don't think any Wild fan should be shocked that they're not making the playoffs or even overly disappointed. I mean, just look at this with fresh eyes and the names that are skating on the ice for the Minnesota Wild, and then compare them to the other teams that are around them, and they're just not nearly good enough. Maybe one day they will be. Maybe Fiala will turn into that guy. I'm starting to really have my doubts. There's a lot of warts in his game, and just there's just some issues there that I think he's going to have to work out. I love Donato. Rask is absolutely who he is. Aberg won't be back. So this team just isn't good enough right now.
From Zeke Boyat, do you think that Fenton secretly wanted the Wild to fall out of the playoff race? I added the word secretly.
Do I think? I don't know. I mean, I hope not. But look, I think that Paul recognized that look, this team wasn't good enough with the way that it was currently constructed, but he blew a hole right through it. And when you blow a hole right through something, you better make sure the returns are up to par. And the returns so far have not been up to par for anything other than the Donato trade. So that to me is the bigger concern. I mean, they have created a huge problem, a much bigger problem than they had by adding Victor Rask. Because again, the way their lines are constructed next year, Stahl's back, which I think was in hindsight not a good move.
Yeah, I never got that one. I never understood that.
Yeah, I mean, if you wanted him back, you could trade him and get him back.
Right. But even if you couldn't get him back, do you really want to invest in him right now? It just doesn't make sense.
And you didn't have to sign him to a 2-year deal that day, even if you chose not to trade him. So that is going to be a problem, I think. And then you have Koivu coming up with torn ACL, and you have Rask. And so where is Rask playing, or where is Eriksson Ek playing? And if Eriksson Ek's not in the top 9, then that's a major mistake by Paul there. But you're not just going to be able to get rid of Rask. I mean, who's taking him? And so and in terms of just your original question, I mean, Paul was a winner. I mean, he wants to win. He wants to make the playoffs. But I think he started to look at this team and just didn't like what he had. But I just don't think that he made the right moves, in terms of returns.
Hoaglund, Tony Hoaglund, your State Farm agent. He works out of Champlin, but you can work with him wherever you are, via app, via email, via phone, whatever, by mail. We've done all those things with Tony. He's been great to me. He's handled my account. He's handled Michael's account. He also is now offering financial services.
Hey, Minnesota sports fans. This is your local State Farm agent, Tony Hoaglund. I need you all to ask yourselves this question. If you're in an at-fault car accident and you are sued for $700,000, how much of that $700,000 will my current insurance company pay? If you are unsure or can't answer all $700,000, you need to give us a call. State Farm has been number 1 in car insurance since World War II and number 1 in homeowners insurance since 1964. For a no-obligation review of your current policies, call us at 763-421-4900 or check out our website at www.champlininsurance.com.
From someone called _Slacks on Twitter, do you ever get that feeling you might have left the garage door open after leaving town? Okay, that's creepy. Twitter, you need to ban this dude, or shackle him, or give him aggressive thumb massage or something. There's something wrong here.
I'm able to pay attention to my home when I'm on the road through many different applications. I'm confident it's closed. And I'm confident that Russo-Slacks has been kept out.
Russo-Slacks, you got to know, Michael hired Blackwater to guard his home. So I would just be careful. Wear a body vest, wear body armor if you go stalking him in person. From Kyler Vasferet, are you somewhat excited for the season to be done, to get away from what must be a lot of negativity?
At this point, yeah. I mean, the hockey has been horrific. I mean, the fun part of my job, and I think the fun part of a fan's existence, is to watch, is to be entertained, and the Wild have been just an absolutely awful team to watch for the last month. And I think perfect example is the last game. The Wild, we've been saying that this team, because its complete lack of offense right now, has to play the perfect game to try to eke out 1-0, 2-1 victories. And there, the other night, they absolutely outplay the Nashville Predators and play a 1-goal game, and literally a 1-goal game. And they're the ones that can't even score a goal, despite dominating the scoring chances. And that just says it all. I mean, it's just not fun to cover. And you feel like you're writing the same thing every single night. And it's been very much like the 2 previous home games. I mean, the Wild's 2 last home games of that awful one-win homestand that pretty much killed their season. Last time before they went to Washington. I mean, they outplayed the Islanders, and pretty much it was who was the last game? Colorado. I mean, they outplayed both those teams and couldn't figure out a way to get a victory, and so they put themselves in a position where they had no margin for error in any of these games, and they still weren't able to win.
I covered a lot of bad Twins teams, and that's one of the many reasons I was ready to move on to other jobs. You feel like you're writing the same exact story every night, and none of the players really want to talk anymore. It does. Listen, we have good jobs. We shouldn't complain about our jobs, but that internal mechanism is not fun. From Aaron Berger, what team will you be covering in the playoffs?
Probably not. We're fully staffed now. Last year when I covered Vegas throughout, we lacked a lot of writers still. Now we're fully staffed, so I think I'll cover some Iowa games. I think I'll do, obviously, if there's a coaching search, I'll have to cover that. And then it's a lot of deconstructing what happened here. And that's going to be probably a high task. But you're right. I mean, this is the earliest that I'm going to be finished in a long, long time. And so that part of it is very disappointing because you cover. You want to be a hockey writer, and one big reason why I went to the Athletic is to cover the playoffs. But I don't think any of us, when I was hired, ever thought that we would have as many writers as we do now at the Athletic. So I can't blame them for not wanting to, spend a fortune to just have me travel around and cover things when we have national writers and we have local beat writers in every market.
Bite Squad has been great to our network. BiteSquad.com. Download the Bite Squad app. Use the promo code TalkNorth for your first delivery fee waived. But most of you have probably already used the promo code. I recommend Bike Squad because it's a good deal for you. You can get their unlimited membership program for $5.99 a month. You get free delivery from restaurants within a 4-mile radius. But even if you're paying the fee, you're still saving on parking, gas, hassle. You can get delivered to your office for lunch. You can get delivered for your kids at home. You can get delivered for yourself at home. They'll show up promptly, and the food will be in great shape. And you won't have to do any dishes. So I highly recommend it and support them because they're supporting us. BiteSquad.com. Best way to work with them is to download the Bite Squad app, and you can pay right on the app. It's a very convenient thing, and we do appreciate their support. From Dave Johnson, Jared Spurgeon can sign a new deal this summer. If you ran the Wild, would you be concerned about an imminent decline due to his age and size? Do you think they would be better off trading him now while his value is at an all-time high?
No.
Okay.
I mean, obviously, everything depends on what you could get. But I absolutely don't see him turning into Eric Stahl or Danny Heatley. I mean, one reason why I'm not concerned of it is the fact that it is his size. So he's not going to just turn into an awful skater, and that guy's not getting quick anytime soon. Now, yes, if he's only going to come here on an 8-year deal, you can't do it. But if you can get him at 5 years before and have his contract end at around 34. I absolutely would do that in a heartbeat. He's their best defenseman. He's their most important defenseman. And that's just the way that I feel.
Is he their best player?
Yeah. And maybe part of it is because the guy never ages. It's just ridiculous. I was talking to him about it a couple of weeks ago. I'm like, it just makes me sick. How he just doesn't get older. So yeah.
Has he started shaving yet?
Yeah. He always has the little creepy, kind of, count mustache. Or whatever,
that's true.
But I wouldn't, but it depends. What can you get? I mean, one guy I will say that the Wild still have a way to get in the summer is William Nylander, and it would probably cost a Spurgeon or maybe even a Dumba. So that's the type of thing. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of Nylander. To me, it's like, I don't know. To me, he's a right-handed Fiala in a lot of ways. Only he actually scores points, but he's got a lot of warts in his game. Hey, that's not that was a preposterous statement. I might win the award on that one. Nylander's a better player than Fiala, but I just don't think I would want to give up one of those 2D for him. I just think there are other avenues to go get players this off season, and I look at this blue line right now. And I can't even imagine without Spurgeon the strength of this team. And we saw it this year is what it did is losing Dumba. What happened to their top 4D by just losing one of them. And now if you lose Spurgeon, to me it's going to be the same problems that you have now without Dumba.
From Dave Elliott on Twitter, speculate how this year might have gone with Tom Fitzgerald as the GM.
I mean, that's hard to say. I could tell you they wouldn't have Victor Rask.
Mm-hmm.
But, at the end of the day, I mean, Tom would have probably seen a lot of the same things that Paul Fenton saw and just said, this is not a team good enough to win. But again, it's all about the returns. Look, I have said over and over again, I think it was time for Niederreiter and Coyle to be traded. But you have to get the right returns. And then you compound things by trading Granlund for Fiala because, and I know that Paul hates it when I say this, but, he had this, fixated is a horrible sounding word, but he was so adamant on getting Fiala and looking at him with such a scout's eyes that I think he just he fooled himself into thinking that this guy is a game breaker, and he is not a game breaker. I mean, it's just not, it's that simple. He doesn't have the electric stick that we all saw. He is what he was in Nashville, and that's a guy that has incredible skills and will be entertaining to watch at times, but he doesn't finish, and he certainly doesn't take care of the puck. In a lot of ways, he doesn't take care of the puck because he clearly doesn't want to be hit in his own zone. And let's put it this way: after these games, the last month, when Marcus Foligno is ripping on his teammates, saying that we have guys in here that want to be too individual and not play within a team concept, you don't have to really stretch too far to try to figure out who he's talking about. There are a certain couple players, and Fiala's one of them. And so now you add all of that together, and it's a major problem. But how Tom Fitzgerald would have addressed the same things that Paul Fenton saw is totally an unknown thing, and we don't know. I mean, I think that Paul was shocked at how hard it was to trade Nino Niederreiter, and when he finally found somebody that was willing to take Nino, I think he just forgot that he could have gotten a better return, or maybe sometimes taking a bad return and another team's problem is not the way to go. I don't know if he could have gotten Justin Falk, but that would have been a way. Another problem with just some of the things that to me Paul did is that, and this goes back to the Boudreaux question and not being helped this year, is that of all the trades that Paul made, none of them addressed the issues that were created by the injuries of Matt Dumba. He never addressed that. And the injury of Mikko Koivu, he never addressed that. He never addressed that they needed a right shot right wing. He just added a couple left wings in Donato and Fiala that now create bigger problems because now more guys are playing out of position. So in a lot of ways, I just feel Bruce has been absolutely handicapped this year and not helped. And I just think it's going to be a dire shame if Bruce pays the price for the injuries of this team and then a bunch of trades that anybody that saw the trades when they happened and you add them all up together realize that this team was not going to be good enough to make the playoffs. And so, but again, to the Tom Fitzgerald thing, who knows? I think that Tom, at the end of the day, would have looked at this organization and also saw what Paul saw, and that they're just not good enough to go on a long run, and probably would have figured out a way to start breaking up the core. But I don't think he would have blown a hole through the core. And when I say blow a hole through the core, I'm also thinking in the back of my head how he tried to trade Zucker on that same day as well. So in a span of 5 weeks, he almost traded all four of the Wild's, 26-year-old core guys that were all 2010 draft picks. And I don't think Tom Fitzgerald would have even considered that.
Great answer. I think that's a pretty good place to stop. Do want to thank Twill in the United Galleria. We'll do one more Twitter question. Thanks to Twill in the United Galleria, fixologyrepair.com, Tony Hoagland, your State Farm agent, Champlin, and bitesquad.com, promo code TALKNORTH for your first delivery fee. Thanks to our producer, Brandon Morton. Thanks to all of our listeners. We really appreciate it. Last question. I'll do this for your final thought, or your final sigh. From Kevin Luckow, which current Wild players of the ones eligible do you expect will be joining Iowa for the AHL playoffs?
Well, I think all three that were made eligible right before the trade deadline or on the trade deadline day, and that's Donato, Greenway, and Cunnin. And that's one reason why it intrigues me to go down to Iowa, a couple times, hopefully on a long playoff run, to go watch that team. I'd like to see the way Belpedio plays. I'd like to see the way Donato, Cunnin, and Greenway play in a playoff run. And I'd like to see, how some of these prospects that they just sent down there, Nick Boca, Jack Sadak was signed today to an ATO. They put Tyler Sheehy down there. I'd like to see how they play, and I'd like to maybe do a feature on Kakkonen. So it was going to be intriguing to watch here down the stretch. But I think all three of those players will be.
And he had one follow-up. Can players on ATO be eligible for the AHL playoff action?
Yes. So Sadak, Sheehy, Boca, anybody else they signed to ATOs are eligible for the playoffs, and that's kind of a weird loophole down in the AHL. I mean, you can essentially stack your team up. A team that maybe didn't have a lot of depth can suddenly get a ton of depth. I mean, another guy that I'm sure they're going to try to sign when Providence is done is Duheim, and so they can all of a sudden add a pretty good player there as well.
Good stuff, Michael. Enjoy Vegas. We'll talk to you next week.
All right, see ya.
Pretty little city built on a hillside. Music in the bars and fire in the sky. call it home. So much coming out, there's nothing going in. I know that you feel like you're never gonna win. Oh, but the world won't forgive a winner.
From the kids to Aunt Sue. Keep your whole family connected on all their devices with crowd-pleasing gig-speed internet from Xfinity. Now that's simple, easy, awesome. Go online, call 1-800-XFINITY or visit today. Restrictions apply. Actual speeds vary and not guaranteed.